Tonight, our special transmission as a Google ad campaign by Israel is discrediting the role of the United Nations Refugee Agency for Palestinians in Gaza. Assalamu alaikum and good evening. This is Muslim News Canada on Muslim Network TV. I'm Alia Batul. Today is the 327th day since Israel started targeting Palestinians incessantly in response to October 7th attacks. Israeli military operations across Gaza have intensified, resulting in significant casualties. Palestinian Health Ministry says in the past 24 hours, 41 Palestinians have been killed in separate attacks. Early morning strikes today in Deir al-Balah and Khan Yunis have killed at least 20 Palestinians. A woman has been killed in Al-Mudassir area of Deir al-Balah. Strikes in the Zaytun neighborhood have killed 3 individuals. Israeli forces say they have rescued 52-year-old hostage Ghaid Farhan al-Qadi. Al-Qadi is reported to be in a stable condition. The Palestinian Prisoners Society says Israel continues to withhold the bodies of at least 552 Palestinians. Out of these, 149 have been killed in the past 10 months. The director of Kamal Adwan Hospital says Israel is denying fuel to the medical sector. He says the military wants the medical facilities in the region to collapse. The United Nations has halted its aid operations due to a mass evacuation order in Deir al-Balah. The move is affecting humanitarian efforts significantly. Tensions in the West Bank continue to rise, where recent conflicts have resulted in 6 more Palestinian deaths. The death toll from Israel's war is alarming. At least 40,476 Palestinians have been killed. 93,647 are injured. A report in the British medical journal The Lancet estimates 186,000 Palestinians may have been killed in the past 10 months. Israel and Hezbollah are both avoiding further escalation after trading heavy fires over the weekend. Israel launched a preemptive strike on Hezbollah positions in Lebanon. It claims the move thwarted an imminent attack. Hezbollah retaliated by targeting Israeli military sites with Katyusha rockets. Recent reports reveal Israel and Hezbollah have communicated a mutual desire to avoid further escalation. This comes as Israeli negotiators are heading to Egypt for ceasefire talks coming Sunday. Analysts say both sides maintain their operational capabilities. The exchange shows Hezbollah's abilities to execute sophisticated attacks despite Israeli measures. The militant group is estimated to have 120,000 to 200,000 rockets in its arsenal. It has fired around 8,000 rockets at Israeli military positions since October. Hezbollah says it fired around 340 Katyusha rockets aimed at 11 military bases over the weekend. On the other hand, Israel says its attack destroyed thousands of Hezbollah rockets. 60 global press freedom and human rights groups have urged the European Union to impose sanctions on Israel for its severe violations of media freedom. The letter is signed by notable organizations like the International Press Institution and Human Rights Watch. In a letter to top officials, the coalition demands the suspension of EU-Israel Association agreements. It highlights a pattern of censorship, torture, and forced disappearances. In July, Israel killed Al Jazeera Arabic journalist Ismail al-Ghul and his cameraman Rami al-Rifi in an air attack. Their car was struck in the Shati refugee camp west of Gaza City. The letter calls for penalties against Israeli officials. Data released by the Palestinian Media Office shows 171 journalists have been killed in the past 10 months. More than 182 media and press offices in Gaza have been damaged by the Israeli occupation army. A report by Human Rights Watch reveals shocking mistreatment of Palestinian healthcare workers by Israeli forces. A recent investigation shows many Palestinian doctors, nurses, and paramedics have been detained from medical facilities in Gaza. They have been taken to Israeli centers and face severe abuse. They are subjected to torture, beatings, and forced stress positions. The detainees face threats of sexual violence and are denied medical care. One paramedic reports witnessing detainees chained and electrocuted. He describes horrific rape incidents. Another detained paramedic held at Al-Aqsa prison says he saw a man bleeding from his bottom. Balkis Jarrah, acting Middle East director of Human Rights Watch, says the abuse is worsening the crisis in Gaza. He says paramedics are facing prolonged detentions. Human Rights Watch is calling for an immediate action and accountability from the International Criminal Court to address these grave human rights violations. A 34-year-old Palestinian has recounted his harrowing experience in notorious Sidi Tayman prison in the Negev desert. Ibrahim Salim was arrested after an Israeli airstrike devastated his family in Gaza. Salim describes a nightmarish ordeal of sexual abuse and torture during his 8th-month detention. Salim is a barber by occupation. He has no ties to Hamas. Salim says he was subjected to brutal conditions, including being forced to strip naked before interrogators. He alleges being beaten and abused sexually. He was released without charge on August 1st. Salim is now living in a displacement camp in southern Gaza, separated from his injured family. Israel has been denying many reports of systemic abuse. However, leaked footage and testimonies suggest widespread mistreatment. Israel is reportedly using Google Ads to discredit the United Nations Relief and Works Agency for Palestine Refugees. The campaign has been discovered by Mara Cronenfeld. Cronenfeld is the executive director of the agency's USA chapter. The campaign redirects users searching for the aid group to Israeli government sites full of allegations against the agency. Israel has accused the agency of ties to Hamas and is pushing for a halt in funding. The agency is trying to counter the ads. Experts say, despite this, the online assault could impact public perception and support for the organization. Critics, including Google employees, argue that these ads exploit the search engine for political gain. The agency uses nearly $1.5 billion annually in donor support. It employs about 30,000 people to educate, feed, and provide care for millions of Palestinian refugees in Gaza and neighboring areas. Far-right Israeli National Security Minister Itamar Ben-Gvir says he would build a synagogue on the Al-Aqsa mosque compound. Ben-Gvir's comments has received severe backlash. His statement challenges the long-standing ban on Jewish prayer inside the mosque. Jews are allowed to pray near the western wall of the mosque. Ben-Gvir's comments have drawn sharp criticism from global leaders, including Jordan, which administers the site. Various Israeli officials argue that such actions jeopardize national security and peace efforts. The Al-Aqsa compound is the third most religious site for Muslims. It is a flashpoint for tensions and remains under strict control with restricted access for non-Muslims. In related news, the United Nations has sharply criticized the comments by Israeli Minister Itamar Ben-Gvir. UN spokesperson Stefan Dujarric calls the comments highly counterproductive. Dujarric warns such comments could escalate existing tensions. The UN says it is important to maintain the agreed status quo of Jerusalem's holy sites to prevent further unrest. Thank you for watching. Our news is produced by Muslim Network TV, which is a non-profit organization. We need your support for donations. Please scan the QR code on our broadcast or visit muslimnetwork.tv to donate now, so we can continue to amplify the voices of Muslims in Canada and abroad. Assalamu alaikum.